What is up, starseeds? I am Sydalexandria, and today we are going to be talking about starseed astrology, or at least that's what I call it. So we're going to be talking about fixed star placements and alignments in your birth chart and how this can tell about past lives. So if you're not familiar with astrology, that is okay. I have a whole astrology playlist on YouTube that I will link in the description of this video, as well as my ET and hybrids playlist, as well as my starseed playlist. So I kind of hate the fact that I've said starseed like 3 or 4 times now, because that whole label is irrelevant. At the end of the day, F the label, like I've said before. But this is a word that people like to use, and I like to use just to reference the fact that we are all living other lives currently, and in these human bodies we have lived lives that feel like to us they were in the past. So that's all that means, because some of these lives are off planet, let's say, in alien bodies. So there is this amazing website that this lady, Julia, had created. Someone created it for her, and I love it. So in case you didn't know, I do astrology reports. I do like birth chart, super in-depth analysis. It's not just a birth chart. I don't give you a circle wheel. I give you all of the info from that circle wheel, and I don't look at just Western. I look at Western, Vedic, and Draconic, as well as Mayan, Egyptian, Celtic, Chinese, Tibetan, Native American, I think that's all, and some numerology as well, casually. So I look at all of that, and some of that includes if you have any conjunctions or oppositions to fixed stars. So that is what I used to include in my astrology report. I still do. However, now I include even more information because I look at this chart on Julia's website. She has a YouTube channel that I will leave linked in the description of this video, as well as this amazing free website which includes this calculator. It's called galacticastrochart.com. It's super simple. It takes like 5 minutes to fill out. You just have to input your birth information and it will give you your Western Placidus house system chart report, which isn't my favorite, but it's okay though, because even if it were in Vedic, the alignments would be the same. The zodiac signs are different, but that doesn't really matter for what we're looking at. What it gives you is the alignments to certain nebulas, to certain stars in certain constellations. It gives you, if your moon is a certain degree within the sign of Cancer, it will say that you are aligned with either Series A or Series B, what have you. And it's all color-coded too. It makes it really nice. So I find that Lyran starseeds have aspects to Lyra, to Vega, to the Lyra Nebula. I find that Orion starseeds have aspects to Alnitak, Alnilam, the Orion Nebula, Mintanka, Betelgeuse, Rigel. There's all of these stars in this system. Antares starseeds have conjunctions or opposites or squares or sextiles or trines to the star Antares in the Scorpio constellation. Arcturian starseeds have aspects to Boots, to Arcturus in the Boots constellation, and it is just a great confirmation. So I like to use qhht, quantum healing hypnosis technique, to see clients' past lives, to guide them to re-experience parts of their past lives. That's a great way to tell where you're from. I like to intuitively feel where I'm from, where other people are from, where my clients are from. That's a great way. I like to use my pendulum for yes or no for clarification. That's a great way. Also, astrology is a great way. the best way is to just look up at the sky yourself before you know where any stars are. I've said this so many times on this channel. Just look up at the night sky and see what stars you feel connected to, and then you can get an app on your phone. There's lots for free, there's some you can pay for. I did a video on all about astrology and astronomy apps. So I'll leave that video link in the description of this video too. So do that. But then this galacticastrochart.com is just a great way to confirm that. And that plus the other fixed stars that they don't have in the website yet, oh my gosh, that is just a match made in heaven. Her chart plus my chart, and now I include all of it in the astrology reports I do. They take me a long time, so I really prefer to just do like Zoom sessions with people or private YouTube videos for people rather than doing their whole astrology report, which takes me weeks to do because it's so in-depth and I look at so many different parts of the astrology. So really just talking about it over video is a lot quicker and usually easier to understand rather than reading like a whole book. But I do that as well. So I just wanted to share this with you guys, that there is a website that literally can help confirm, validate these feelings that you have already had about your past off-planet lives. This is a great way to tell. And Julia says, because I've watched a lot of her videos, I think she is great. I recently found her, so that's why I'm making this video, because I have been wanting to do a video on fixed stars for a while. Last year I already did a video about the star Regulus. I'm going to continue doing videos on fixed stars throughout probably the next few years. I don't think I'm going to do them all in one bunch because I like to kind of break it up. I like to kind of do it when the energy of that star is around. I also want to do videos on certain star races. Once again, I do it when I feel the energy is strong. I've done a video about connecting to Sirius. I haven't really done a video about Sirian beings that much yet, but I've sprinkled in quite a lot about alien races the past few years. So if you're interested in that stuff, check out my playlist. Anyways, I was going to say that Julia always says that conjunctions and opposites are really like what you want to look at in this chart that you get, because it'll have your sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Chiron, Lilith, North Node, South Node, Vertex, Ascendant, and Midheaven. I pay the most attention to the South Node and the Emium Coli, the IC, which is directly opposite of your MC. Emium Coli isn't in this website, however, it's directly opposite from your midheaven, your MC. Directly opposite is your IC, that's the bottom of the birth chart. Midheaven is up here, that's like your destined career. Emium Coli is down here. This is about your past lives, I've found. So I'm surprised it's not in her chart. Maybe she doesn't, maybe she isn't looking for Emium Coli and recognizing the significance of it, but the South Node is in there. So look at your South Node especially, and what's opposite of your MC. So if you have something conjunct your MC, or if you have something opposite your MC, that is either going to be opposite or conjunct your IC. So that is what you need to look for in this chart, as well as really everything else. Pluto, it's going to be a bit more generational because Pluto stays in the same sign in the same degree for a pretty long time. But look at your sun, look at your moon, look at your rising, especially your ascendant sign, which is based off of the time of your birth. So that is what I would look for. Look at your Chiron, look at really everything, Jupiter, all of that in this chart on galacticastrochart.com if you feel called to see your placements. Or if you want, you can email me and we can figure out a time and day that we can either Zoom and talk about it, or I can do a private YouTube video for you and explain it, because I love talking about this. I love picking up on your information at first. If you want to not give me your birthday and you want to have a Zoom session with me and we can talk and I can tell you what I'm feeling, because that is what I pick up easiest nowadays, is not so much dead people, but more so past lives, mainly past off-planet lives. That is like what I've been loving to do lately. So that is pretty much all I wanted to say. That yes, we have other lives. The majority of those lives are usually off planet because that's just the type of beings that are on Earth right now, are starseeds. And we're all Earth seeds now, so please remember that and don't get too caught up in it. All this being said, don't get too caught up in it. Remember, you're here on Earth for a reason, for a mission. Wow, all these words just come to my head. To inspire, to create, to observe, to learn, to teach, to experience. It is all about the experience, baby. We all have free will. We're all meant to do whatever the heck we want on this planet, in this dimension, in this world, in this body, in this life. So without further ado, I want to show you guys Julia's website, galacticastrochart.com. She has so much other cool stuff on her website, you guys. Her YouTube channel is so amazing. Like, I just want to emphasize this fact so much. And I also don't want to come across like I was critiquing this chart. Like, one of her clients made this for her out of the kindness of their heart. And I know this because I listened to her YouTube videos in-depthly because I love her YouTube channel as well. I just love her, and I am so happy that I found her. So please check out other parts of this website too and look at the info she has on these other star races, because I absolutely love her perspective, and I am once again just so glad that I found her. Julia, Starseeds Teachable with Julia, that's who I'm referencing. Debbie Solaris, Bridget Nielsen, OG, Gigi Young, also pretty OG, and Lissa Royale, major OG, author of The Prism of Lyra, which you guys have probably heard me talk about before. And of course, people like Dolores Cannon and Barbara Lamb. They all happen to be ladies that I just mentioned, but those 7 ladies, as well as so many other wonderful people, guys and girls, people of all genders, I have found that agree with me. And I've found these people recently within the past few years, and then now just recently, Julia. This just emphasizes the fact that there's other people like me who look up at the sky, feel resonance to certain stars. They get into tarot and palmistry and pendulum and dowsing rods. They get into just using their intuition to tap into other lives. They get into past life regression therapy, qhht, and beyond quantum healing. Allison Coe does this as well. Oh my gosh. Lori Ladd is amazing too. She doesn't, as far as I know, do any qhht or anything like that, but she just talks about the universe and ET races. And I found Lori through searching Mount Shasta after I had an experience, knowing for some reason, somehow, that I was under Mount Shasta, even though I was just in my living room. And yeah, now I'm just like thinking about even more people who are just so amazing in this community. So I have to give them a shout out. But anyways, this is real time, you guys. Obviously it's not live, it's pre-recorded. But I'm not speeding this up, I'm not slowing this down. This is how long it took me to input my information into this online calculator. It took me under 8 minutes, and I can do it quicker than that too. I just didn't want to mess up while I was screen recording what I was doing. So that's why it took me a bit longer than like 5 minutes like usual. But you saw me before enter my birth information, just, the day, month, year, the time, and the location. And then it will give you your, like I said earlier in this video, when you could see me, it will give you your Western astrology, your tropical astrology, using the Placidus housing system, which, like I said before, isn't my favorite, but it's totally okay because it doesn't really matter for what we're looking at on this website. And you just manually kind of copy and paste the zodiac sign, the degree, the minutes within the degree, and then the house that it is in. I should also really take this opportunity to tell you guys that your sun sign is not the main part of your birth chart at all. It's your rising sign, your ascendant. Your rising sign and your ascendant is the same thing. It's your ASC, your ascendant. That is the main part of your birth chart because that dictates all of your other houses if you're using the equal housing system or another form of the whole housing system. And I have a video in my astrology playlist that explains the difference between Placidus, whole house, and equal house and why I use the equal housing system. It's not a huge deal if you use other housing systems, but the equal housing system is just the easiest to understand, for one, and two, it scientifically, astronomically makes the most sense to me. Anyways, your rising sign, your ascendant, puts in place all your other houses, and that is the main thing in your birth chart. And I say that just because I feel like people put a lot of energy into their sun sign and their moon sign, when really, even just the zodiac signs in general don't mean as nearly as much as what planets or what celestial bodies or points are in what houses, or what aspects they're making to each other, or what aspects they're making to fixed stars. So in this report, you are going to you want to show sextiles, trines, squares, you want to show degrees, you want the extended version, okay? And I know I'm talking a bit faster than what is on the screen right now, but we are almost to the end of putting this info in, and then it's going to ask you, check all the boxes, okay? And then generate report. And then we are going to get this chart in just a few moments. So I want to explain what we're looking for. We are going to be looking at, yes, the sun and the moon, but mainly the ascendant, ASC or AC, however they have it abbreviated, then the MC, because like I said before, the Emium coli is going to be directly opposite of the MC. So that is what we are going to be looking for. South node and MC to look at the IC through the MC. Here, we're going to check the boxes. And then we're also going to look at Jupiter, Pluto, Chiron, really everything, but those are some of the main ones. So then, what does this mean when we look at, ready for it, this big, beautiful chart? So, some people's charts are going to be more filled up than others. It's not good or bad, it just is what it is. And those are aspects, important major aspects made to those planets. So hopefully you can understand, and this is not saying that you have had past lives in all of these places. This is saying that the energy of that star is aligned, is making an aspect to the energy of that planet. And yes, sometimes, possibly the majority of the time, that can indicate a past life if you have lots of something in your chart, okay? So I hope that makes sense. You guys are getting a pretty intimate look at me in chart form right here. And like I said, I just discovered Julia. I just discovered this website, so I haven't analyzed my chart as much as I'd like to, but I'm excited to do so more. Peace out.